Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I am Obatier John Queese. I'm joined by my co-host
Jay Flair,
Tiffany Torre,
Tranisha Johnson,
and we are Breauxs and Brews. Glad to have y'all back for another episode. And before we even get started, we want to do a huge shout out and thank you to Stinky's
Definitely.
Fish Camp for having us here for another show. Stinky's is located at 5500 Hilton Avenue on the first floor of the Marriott Hotel here in Baton Rouge, zip code 70809. If you need seafood, if you love a happy hour, if you need a drink, Stinky's is definitely a place to check out. And this week we are featuring a local brew again made by Abita. It's called Purple Haze. So you'll see me and Flair sipping on that throughout the show today. How y'all doing?
great,
good,
brother.
bro.
I'm good. I
How
feel
y'all
good.
feeling?
Feel
Yeah.
good.
especially after that first show, man.
Oh yeah.
Hey, man, first show jitters out the way.
Thank y'all for so much support.
Y'all didn't
Oh,
notice we was so nervous.
super
Yeah.
nervous.
Now
I mean-
that the nerves are out the way,
Right.
And we said everything like over and over. So we're gonna go ahead and start my incredible count today.
That's
See how many
one.
times I
That's
said?
one, bro.
Nah. Hey, look, I've been reading the dictionary.
Incredible. Incredible.
Everything's incredible.
So, everybody feeling good?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and kick it off with the first.
Hey, don't do like you did the last show. Don't come out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
because
no.
he came
Out
out
the gate.
swinging.
Right.
You came
Nah.
out swinging.
He wanted to
man.
fight us
I'm
that
gonna
day.
be a little, look, I'm gonna be a little more lax.
Build
this
us
show.
up to that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and the credit for this week of our questions is going to the one and only Miss Tranisha Johnson. So, what we're going to be
Yeah,
speaking
girl.
about today, which is like the body of it, it's all going to be credit to her and the great mind that she has. So, the first question that we're shooting with, we're going to pass it around. What is your stance on boycotting that's going on in the NFL now? Like, obviously, we see Cap, who took his knee. He doesn't have a job because of that, which I feel is wrong.
Shout out to
Same.
Nike.
Shout out to Nike. Eric Reed just was recently signed by the Carolina Panthers. He was right alongside of Cap early on. So he has a job. So
Now we just
But-
got to work on Cap getting a job.
we have to work on Cap. But
You know what? You know what? I don't even think Cap wants a job, though.
Yeah,
I don't
in
think
that
Cap- I
organization.
don't think Cap wants to be
Agreed.
a $40 million slave. I mean, my stance on it is if I have to sell my soul to get this check, there has to be another way that I can get this check.
absolutely.
Other than selling my soul
Right,
to
right.
the NFL. You mean to tell me I have no ability? And I mean, I know with jobs, even in regular jobs, there's a certain limit that
Yeah.
you have to, if you're in the, the company's uniform. Say if you work for Verizon, you can't go out and protest or protest in a Verizon uniform.
Right.
However, I get Cap's point. He's in a position of power. So if he's in a position of power, why am I not able to exert this power? I am the reason why these people are coming. I'm one of the reasons why these people are coming to this game.
And making
I'm filling
y'all
your
money in the
stadiums.
first place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
making your
influence.
stadiums. So it's just like, man, the fact that you blackballed him, I think it wouldn't be such of a problem if y'all wouldn't have blackballed him.
Yeah, that
out
was
of
a slap in the
NFL.
face.
So, me, myself, and I'm not gonna lie, I watched the game last week, and it was just, I literally was just passing through it. Oh, nothing else is on TV. But personally, I believe that I'm kind of in between on it, just because there are people who are in the NFL who actually, need money. They need their jobs.
Right.
They're
They got
supporting.
families.
They have
Yeah.
families.
Take care of,
So it's just like, I understand both sides of it, and I also understand the people who say, "What are we supporting these people who clearly have made it clear that your voice outside this football does not matter?"
Right.
So I see both sides of it, and it's just it's a fine line, man. But I'm riding with Cap.
I'm riding with Cap, too.
25-8.
Absolutely, because I think a big thing, they try to make it an issue about him like disrespecting the American flag, and me, I just want to say on it, Cap taking a knee has absolutely nothing to do with
Preach.
the U.S. military. It has absolutely nothing to do with who's died, with those who died and fought, for the freedom
Right.
of this country and our rights that we have to this day.
Right.
He's fighting for the black kids or the black woman.
The Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin, the Michael Browns.
yeah.
Just
those
the
are
injustices
individuals-
against black
Right.
men,
Yeah,
period.
Yeah, Alton Sterling's and situations
Right.
like that. That is what he's taking a knee for.
Right.
But
Which has yet to stop.
absolutely,
Right.
So-
absolutely. But someone has to take. Someone has to. point the finger and say, "Oh, that's wrong."
Somebody got to be the
Right.
Malcolm X of the generation.
And
Right.
he's doing it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and to do it during the national anthem, one of the most like
That's gonna get your
Sensitive
attention.
Yeah.
moments
Definitely.
of a game before it even gets started. Because I myself used to take my head off in the house and would
Right.
tell everybody in the
I don't
room
even
to
sing it
hush.
anymore. I don't sing it because it's
I
not for
take a
us.
knee. Look, I sit
Exactly.
down and raise my fists up during high school games. If I'm watching a pro game, I do the same thing. So look, I stand with Colin Kaepernick. I support
Absolutely.
his mission and all of those guys who lost endorsements, who can't get a job now. So
It shows you how divided our country is.
yeah, it all comes out then.
Right.
Unfortunately, you know, they look. I'm saying they like the man. Those, you know, those people who don't agree with what Cap is saying. I feel like, honestly, at this point, is what you want. What do you want us to do? Like,
What do you
because
want us
we
to do?
peacefully protest.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
we, you know, we loot.
Right.
We just trying to get somebody attention, and it's like, what do you want us to do? Because unfortunately, no matter what a black person is doing, a black child is doing, they still unfortunately are going to end up, you know, at the mercy of a police officer nine times out of 10, you know, whether they playing with toy guns or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just being
Yeah.
free-spirited or
Right.
it don't matter. It just seems like the outcome is always the same. And
Right.
I feel like that's what he protesting against. Like,
Right.
what you want us to do?
Right.
And that's crazy because when you see, like, Rosa Parks did a peaceful protest. The boycotting the buses was a peaceful protest.
Right.
Marching, I am a man.
Right.
It was a peaceful
all
protest,
peaceful.
but it was still frowned upon. Like,
Yep.
it was still made to be an issue.
Right.
So anytime that you speak up,
They want us to be quiet.
Yeah.
Anytime you're
Anytime.
walking
Don't
in a
speak.
straight line,
Think freely.
everything is cool.
Yeah.
But when one person walks backward or get out of that line, he's going to be outcast. He's going to be made an example of.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with the situation here. So
Yeah.
yeah, we can sign those who supported him, but we're not gonna sign the one who started
Right.
it.
Right.
But Kaepernick already said his stance on it. I don't care about playing. I'm trying to own the team.
Yeah.
That's gonna kill
Yeah.
you. Because you still have to have 31 owners sign off on a new ownership or relocating the team. And it's crazy how so many owners at one point well, yeah, man, I support our team. I'm gonna take Jerry Jones to speak. Took a knee. Then saying if he find his players doing it, so it's like it's all publicity stunt, you know,
Yeah.
at the beginning. But then again, we also have to see this how much we speak about police brutality. In a way, we doing it to ourselves a whole lot. We just have to learn ways of. Gotta say it like this, because I myself, I support those in the uniform, right? I support an officer. I know good ones. I've heard of bad ones. I've seen monsters. So I'm not going to point the finger at one and say, look, he's, all of you are him.
Right.
No, because you see some good acts of them, but we just have to get to a place as black men and even as black women, we got to respect those who are doing their job. That whole situation, when you think about it, some situations, and I'm not speaking, I don't want to, get the lash about this. I'm not saying that any killings are not justifiable in any
Right.
kind of way.
Right.
Anyway.
So let's go ahead and clear that up.
Right.
now.
Right.
I
They
don't-
come for
look,
you, man.
Hey, look, they're coming for me, but
Right.
nah, that ain't cool.
Right.
Don't
At
kill
all.
this man. I don't care if he was twice your size.
Right.
You were trained how to take down someone without having to use.
That's the biggest
deadly
thing.
force.
Legal
That's the
force,
biggest
right.
thing. Like,
It's on your hip, so you don't bust it.
exactly.
The
It's like
same
if you
way.
too scared
And a
to
coward
take
gonna-
down a black
A
man,
coward,
gonna-
a coward cop will kill you the same way a coward person would shoot
Right.
you.
Right.
We know what
Those
you
of
wanted to
fighting-
say.
right?
All right, but we just gonna,
But no,
at
I
the end of the
understand
day,
you about
man,
respecting
like,
that uniform.
yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
just respect the
respecting what they
uniform.
do. They
You
putting
get-
their life on the line
Yeah.
every day. It's like, but I also feel like you need to
Respect
be
us as people.
No,
Yeah,
not even
yeah,
that. I
absolutely.
feel like if those police officers were trained and they came up in the area that they are policing, it would make a world of difference. Because it's
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
it would be like it was back in the day. Like my mom constantly talks about how police officer will pull you over and they know they know
Right.
your mama and them, and
Right.
Your mama
they
and them.
they'll just instead of like using deadly force, they'll
Right.
go ahead take your boy
Right.
home. You know what I mean? I know
I'm
you
not a
better
threat
than
to
that's
this.
the good
society.
cops,
Right.
Right.
And that's the good cops, and it's so much of that going on. It's like they put cops who, like you were saying, they didn't grow up in our area, so they don't.
They don't
really
know.
They think
understand.
we're all threats.
Yeah,
Man,
they only
our
frame
Everybody's
community
threats.
is
what they see
nothing
on
but
TV,
white cops in the
pretty
black
much.
community. So all they know is minister society.
Yep.
All they know is boys in the hood.
Yep.
So they already
coming in with a preconceived
grabbing their
notion.
roster before they even stop.
Like, oh, this how they act? Okay.
Right,
you
let me
know,
show
so,
them. Let
man,
me
you
exert my
I mean,
authority.
honestly, it's so much more that goes into it that we probably don't see. Maybe there's
Mm-hmm.
not a black. There's not a lot of African Americans who signed
Right.
up for the police
Right.
force. So you
For
gotta
that
use-
reason, maybe.
Right. So you got to use what you have. But man, this is definitely something that you can talk about all day.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And run with it, man. But I feel like, look, man, I stand again with Colin Kaepernick. I support him. I take my knee, I raise my fist, and I sit down. Not just because you're being a following. Someone has to. Somebody
Yeah.
got to start.
Somebody
it.
has
And
to.
And Nike loves it. Nike feels it. So look, that's why I still wear my Nikes to this
Hello.
day. You know?
And I feel like the football players, they probably been feeling this way.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
For a long time, bro.
I'm happy
so
you
this
said
really
that,
been
man.
a long time
Yeah.
coming out.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's
So-
just
Y'all
those
li-
guys
y'all
just
want
have
us to shut
bills
up and
to pay.
dribble.
Yeah, you know, like,
It's
like,
not
but
we're
then,
not
when-
shutting up
but
and
then when you
dribble-
look at the
dribbling,
NBA
you know,
and
it's
the NFL, they're
two
two different
different-
businesses.
two different businesses,
They're
yeah.
two different.
Are they really?
They can't blackball
Absolutely.
LeBron. LeBron is
He's the face of the
he's the
NBA.
face of the NBA.
He's the face
They
of the
can't
game.
blackball
He
him.
did.
So
You know,
he's not
but-
gonna shut up and dribble.
But see,
Right.
But and the commissioner of the NBA, he listens
Yeah.
to the players. You know, so he really try to understand where they're coming from. They have a better relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you know, between their players' association and the league. You know, with
Definitely.
their union and everything like
Right.
that. There's no such thing in the NFL, and we're not seeing it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's we paying you to run this football, nothing else.
exactly,
Right.
man. I'm paying you to be an athlete, not an activist.
I'm literally paying you to be a $40 million.
So how Muhammad
slave.
Ali said back in the day, you
Yeah.
know, if you get somebody up here talking how I'm talking, yeah, he might lose a couple million. You got people who afraid of losing it. Man, I got
That's
10
true.
kids I got to pay for, so
That's
I'm gonna
true.
just walk the straight way. But when you think about it, man, that all comes back from slavery. We still got a
Yeah.
lot of slave mindsets.
Literally
going
everything.
on.
People
Yeah.
get mad too when you like try to play the race card, but in reality,
It is
it's
really
like
not
we're
that.
not blaming
You
you
have to
for
be smart
being
enough to see
white.
it.
We're
Right.
you know what I mean. We're just trying to. I need you to acknowledge your privilege, and I need you to try to dismantle
It
the
exists.
the
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
you
simple,
know
yeah.
the programs
It
and stuff
exists.
that were put in place to see us fail.
Right, right. And it's so crazy because I feel as if a lot of NFL players now are starting to actually see that. I literally just watched OBJ's interview yesterday. He posted one. And he's just basically saying like I want to follow in Braun's footsteps. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like
right.
I want to be able to use my voice. I don't just want I want to work for this contract. You know, I just signed a $95 million contract, but I want to
Absolutely.
work for it. So you're
Right.
starting to see them step out of their shell. Like, no, I cannot be controlled. I've been controlled for generations
You waking up.
prior. Yeah, so
Right.
they're waking
Waking
up. I
up.
can definitely see that, and I definitely see that people are starting to realize that money is not everything. Okay, I got the contract, but what am I going to stand for outside of this?
You
You know
signed
what
a
I'm
$100
saying?
million contract, but you only taking home $40 million at the
Yeah.
end of the
Right.
day, at
So,
the end of that contract.
They
yeah.
realize it's not all that it's hyped up to be. And if I'm being paid to literally sell my soul, then my soul worth more than that.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, they're more than just football players.
Oh,
Yeah, they're people.
humans
man.
as well.
Like they say,
They
man,
got
LeBron say,
feelings,
man,
too.
I'm more than an athlete.
More than an athlete.
So I got to get on until another one.
More of a light note.
More,
Yeah, on a lighter note.
Right.
Right. How did y'all handle y'all first heartbreak?
Look,
Little cried, y'all. I cried, and I
we're
cried,
gonna
and I
start with
cried.
Flair on that.
Call him off guard.
Oh, you want me to answer for you, man?
He got it.
Who's breaking the ice? Who's
mean,
breaking
not
the
for you.
ice
Go
on that?
ahead, Jay.
I got it. My first heartbreak,
You got to think back.
man, I gotta think back.
Did you?
Because you know they think men don't get their heart broken.
Right, but y'all do.
We know the
We
truth.
do.
Yeah.
We know
We
the
do,
truth.
man. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, we do.
I
Aw.
remember I did cry. I did cry.
Bro, you tearing up now?
I did. Why you playing with me? Why you playing with me? But after that, and listening to Chris Brown all day.
Wait.
And,
No, this
uh,
must have been a while ago,
Right.
Yeah, this was a while ago.
It's never a right time to say goodbye.
Right.
Like she just broke
And
up
all
with
that
me.
good stuff.
Aw.
After I went through that phase, I handled it pretty spitefully.
Ooh.
I mean, at least you being honest.
Right.
Yeah, I handled
Look,
it.
honesty is key, bro.
Yeah, I handled it very
Ladies, be
spitefully.
careful. Flair still got a lot of
Listen.
hostility.
He's a
built up.
scorned man on the loose.
A man
broken
scorned.
That's when I started being
Diary of a Mad Black Man.
Let that.
promiscuous, if you will.
Okay.
That's when
Oh,
all that
okay.
started
Yeah.
for me. So I handled it spitefully,
Wow.
trying to get back.
Got my heart
At
broke
her,
at 14. That was
But
way,
at the
way
end of the
back.
day, thinking back, like that didn't really solve anything.
Yeah.
Because that still hurts.
Right.
That had
No
to
matter
happen,
how
right?
much
Yeah.
you try to hide
No,
it.
Push it to the
Exactly.
back burner.
Exactly. And I always try to think about like, damn, why did that happen? What happened?
Right.
What did I do? So, in the midst of handling it spitefully, I also took that time to invest in myself and reevaluate some of the things I may need to work on, so this doesn't happen again.
Come
So I
on.
won't have to listen to Chris Brown.
Being a grown man about
You
it.
know what I mean? So,
I'm not getting my heart broken no more.
I ain't doing this no more.
These walls are going up. You hear me?
no, so that's how I handled it, and I probably wrote about it too, because
Yeah.
I write a lot. So y'all gonna make me go dig through some
Look.
files. And see,
Oh
see
Lord!
what I
To
done
see where
wrote down
in the
on this.
mind of
Flair
a heartbroken
diary.
man.
Oh man,
Man, I won't hear about this.
Listen,
All
'cause
right.
he can
Take a swim.
man, I
getting
think.
heavy in here.
Man, to tell you the truth, man, it's gonna sound crazy. It's like I don't think I've ever given my heart truly
To have it broken in the first
Wow.
place.
to have it really broken in the first place. Now I've had my feelings hurt where I was like, vibing with someone, vibing with a chick, and she like just like stopped talking to me or whatever, or she went dip left on me, and it was like I'm missing this person so much, but it was more so like a little lust thing, and I think that's where it was like. Man, and my mama tell you, boy, you ain't ate in 3 days. You ain't,
Oh, so
around
you was
here
depressed.
Yeah,
Aw.
yeah, and it was like, it'll make you depressed because it's like, I'm trying to talk to this person, they don't want to talk to me, or whatever. But then it's like, you got to take, man, I'm forgetting who I am,
Right.
Yeah.
and not just like this
Yeah.
prideful thing, like,
No.
I'm macho. It's like,
Yeah.
it happens. In the way that I view life now, things happen. People come and people go. Now early on at that particular stage, yeah, it was like, okay, well, this kind of sucks, but
Yeah.
like I said, I never had gave my heart truly to someone, in
Oh,
order
so
for it
we'll
to
be
be
asking you that in
I would-
some time.
No, I hope not. I mean, I feel like you give me your heart now, and you good.
Yeah.
You good. You gonna be good. Hopefully, we don't have to exit in the
Right.
future. But shoot, heartbreaks.
Ooh. Look
It
at
really
I mean,
depends on how you classify
I was about
a
to say
heartbreak,
because
though.
like when I first heard the question, like my mind went to like high school. But then when I started thinking about it, it's like, well, maybe it was like in my first like real adult relationship, like
Right.
my last relationship.
Everybody get their heart broken in elementary school. Yeah.
Right. And I feel
Yeah,
like
when
it's
it
not the
doesn't
same as when
count.
you're grown.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
when you have
absolutely
bills
not.
with someone, when you're
Yeah.
like trying to share your life with someone and they break your heart. I feel like it was like a shell shock. Like I was in shock for like weeks
Wow.
before
Yeah.
it finally like set
Hit
in
you.
that damn, like they really
Yeah.
they really messed over me. Like they really messed over me, and I'm cool, y'all. I'm a cool chick. I feel like I'm a good girlfriend. I feel like I was a good girlfriend, and things happen, and people change, people grow up, and how I got through it literally was just time. I think one of y'all had said it last time that y'all hate, the whole time heals all or whatever, but I mean, with some things it'll make it easier to deal with, and then one day you just wake up and it's like, what was I
ain't even
so deep into
Right,
before?
right, yeah.
It wasn't even, not to say it wasn't that serious, but
He wasn't
life
that-
goes on.
Yeah.
Life goes on, baby.
So they all in here talking about some kumbaya type stuff, and I was on I will bust the windows out your car.
Aw.
Okay.
Do you hear me? My
was
first
hurt.
heartbreak?
She was hurt.
My
She
first
was
one?
hurt.
What? Man, listen. So, I cried for a second. No more pain. No more pain.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
we
I'm
all
on
go to
my
Mary.
I'm on my Mary J. Blige, getting a little
I was on my Lenny
crying.
Oh, really?
And then I thought about it. And I'm just like, me? You tried to blame me?
Right.
Tranisha?
Right,
Is you
right.
is you dumb? Is you crazy? And so that's when I got on my Jasmine Sullivan. I will bust the windows out your car. I mean, doing like pull-ups with my girls. Like I literally remember.
heart was broke,
I am
y'all.
not- my heart was broke. Do you hear me? I literally remember me and my friends. I'm not gonna name them, but shout out to those friends. Some time ago, and I remember we were all in my sister's apartment, and I remember like we was just like plotting, like, so what are we gonna do, sis? Like, how we gonna handle this? You know, because I knew the person that
Yeah.
I knew that person.
Oh,
So and
that's
that
what-
made,
like,
and I asked you about this individual several times, and
Oh,
you
that's
looked me in
always
my
how it
face,
goes,
and
though.
you
You
lied.
ask.
So, but this is the first time you experiencing that. You know, when you're
Aw.
young and you're like, you're really
Head over
loving, you're
heels.
head over heels. This person can do no wrong, and then
they do.
I pulled out my flare. I'm like, Tranisha, if that's what,
Right.
if this person can do that to you, then there is absolutely no way that they deserve you. And so guess what? I cried. I literally told myself I'm gonna cry one more time over this, and I'm not crying ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? I never cried again, and I bossed up.
That's
So
what
I
you're
took that
supposed to
time-
do.
I took
That's
that
what you're
time
supposed
to
to do.
remind myself of who I was. Ladies, please understand that your last mistake is not the best thing that God has for you. So once you realize that the person that left was never supposed to be a part of your journey, was never supposed to be a part of your plan, they were a lesson. And so once you take that as a lesson, and that's when you can look back and say, what was you eating? Because now, married to a man,
Right.
married to
It's
a
like,
grown man,
what?
I'm like,
What
what
was
was I
that?
tripping
Right.
on? Like, what was I really tripping over, dude? And so, man, like you boss up and you take that time to invest in yourself, and you set the standard for your next relationship.
Yep.
I might go through some things in my next relationship, but I'm not going through the same stuff that I went through in that relationship.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, you boss up, you level up.
Level up. Shout
Level
out
up.
Sierra on that. Absolutely. Hey, look, guys, we can go ahead and go to a commercial break.
Yeah.
It's going to be our first one. You're still tuned in with Breauxs and Brews.
But
Hello, everyone. We are Breauxs and Brews. I am Patier John Queese, and joined with me is my co-host.
Hey, Flair.
We're joined with Mr. Brad Johnson of Stinky's Fish Camp, located here at 5500 Hilton Avenue in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 70808, on the first floor of the Marriott Hotel. We've been doing the show here for going on 2 weeks now. It's episode 2, so we're forever grateful and thankful for Fish Camp. Stinky's Fish Camp.
That's it. You got it.
Hey, the bros kick it in, man. So, Mr. Johnson, what daily deals do you have here at Stinky's?
So yeah, we try to give some great deals every day. We have on Thursdays we have $5 frozen drinks. Fridays we have $3 drafts, and then on Saturdays we switch it up because football season. Now we have buckets of beer. So you get six bottles for the price of 5.
You see, me personally, I love the happy hour between 3 and 6 p.m. when you come in and get $1 oysters. So I love raw oysters. And then the good thing about it is the freshness and the quality of the food that they have here at Stinky's, you know, which is important to a lot of people. Hello, everyone. We are back, Breauxs and Brews. I'm your host, Obatier John Queese, and joined with me, and still here, my co-host,
Jay Flair.
Torre.
Tranisha Johnson.
And again, we are Breauxs and Brews, and we are back from break. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, we did it one time already, so we're good.
Just gonna run it back.
And again, before we even get started with another question, we always want to do a huge shout out and thank you to Stinky's Fish Camp, located at 5500 Hilton Avenue on the first floor of the Marriott Hotel. If you ever come through in a happy hour, which is from 3 to 6 every day of the week, I believe, oysters, dollar oysters, raw, char grilled. They have an amazing happy hour menu with like macaroni, with catfish. Hey, look, I'm not gonna get all into
Today
Bobby
they have today they have what, half off mimosas.
Yeah, and
Today,
a bottomless
mimosas.
it's Sunday. Today they have half off of all bottles, and they have $5 bottomless mimosas.
Thank you for that, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Thank you. Somebody's been paying attention around here. Right?
Somebody hasn't been drinking.
Look at all those brews.
All those brews with the
This
bros.
week right here, we are pushing, like we said earlier, excuse me, a Beta Amber, a Beta Purple Haze. Chill out, my guy.
Come on, man.
A Beta Purple Haze. That is the brew that we're drinking this week. And I believe on Tuesdays, they're starting to do the draft for $3. So if you're in the neighborhood, check them out. So let's go ahead and get into another question. And again, all of these questions have come from
Miss Johnson.
Miss Tranisha Johnson.
In
Not
the
to put you in
building.
a spot like that. Everyone is going to
Definitely
get
was
the
on the spot just now, but it's all good.
Everybody's going to get the credit that's due. So, is college tuition really worth the time and tuition?
Tears.
And like we all know, like
Stress.
we all I'm gonna go ahead and say I can't speak for everyone. I support education. If you have a college degree or if you're in college, I support that. I'm not knocking it whatsoever. There are many jobs that pay well, or many careers that you can go into where it's not necessarily required.
Right.
College is not for everyone. I felt that at some point. I did 2 years at BRCC, but that's which is community college here. But I felt, the pressure that comes along with college, and then when you look at it, I'm like, I'm an aspiring actor or I'm an aspiring writer.
Something that doesn't need a degree.
I don't need
But it
you
would
to
hurt.
teach me how to do this.
But it wouldn't hurt.
Granted, it would look good.
Right.
It would look amazing that you went to the Juilliard School, right?
Right.
It would look good that you went to, NYU and, got a degree in dramatic arts. Like,
Right.
I get that, right? But it's so many, and you see it. Like, it's not that many people who are in the entertainment business that we know of.
Yeah, that I
right?
know of. Especially.
That has that degree or just pushing it, what have you. But LeBron went from high school to the league, and he pushes education. I'm the same way, I still push it. So, is college,
Is it worth it?
is it worth the tuition and the time?
Yeah.
So, Flair here.
I was just about to say, Flair
as we all
is
know,
literally.
is a
only
college graduate. He's the only one
College.
sitting at the table who graduated. We all
I
attended,
was about
but
to say I attended the University of Louisiana at Lafayette for 2 years. Tranisha.
I'm still at Southern University.
Let's go. She's in the process of earning her degree. But Flair is the only one of us that actually has a college degree.
Yes,
Proud of you,
yes.
brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Educated
yes,
black
I have a
man.
Educated black
degree
man.
from the Southern University.
Come on.
The
Put some
Southern
respect on
University.
it.
Bachelor's degree in psychology.
Okay.
And to answer your question, I think it's only worth the time and the effort if you yield the results from it after you graduate.
Okay.
Instead of having that degree, to some people that degree is just a receipt from the student loan. All the debt that you're in, pretty much.
Okay.
So, and like you said, college isn't for everybody. But if you're paying $60K for an education, you want to find
might
a
wanna
job.
take a
Yeah,
seat.
you might want to find a job that reflects that you pay that much for education. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
And like I said, it's worth it if it yields the results. But like we were saying earlier, not everyone gets a job right after graduation, right after college. So
Most
the results is not always guaranteed, and that's the misconception that a lot of people get. It's not always guaranteed that you're going to get a job. You're going to find some work of employment. So, and then college is competitive, especially with whatever if your major
Right.
is engineering, your major is nursing. You got to work three
Super
times as hard
competitive.
because
Right.
you're competing internationally at that point. So.
And so, do you feel like the choice of a degree that you try to go into could be the reason why a lot of people don't have a job?
I think
That
that's
could
important.
be it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Because I think
for
everyone.
my field, for example, psychology, you have to. There's continuing education
Yeah.
that goes
Right.
along with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
You're not
With
done
just
as
a
soon as you walk
bachelor's,
across
Yeah.
the stage.
It's
Yeah.
Not gonna
be-
get much.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
You can
extremely
teach.
tough. Yeah, but with psychology being such a lucrative field, there's so many things you can do with it. Like
Right.
I'm doing psychology right now. if you really think
Absolutely.
about it.
Hey,
Right.
we appreciate
And
it,
there's
man.
there's so many different avenues and so many different paths I can take with it. So that's why I wanted to pursue a degree in it. I ultimately want to teach though.
Okay. Hey, man, you will.
Yeah, I ultimately want to become a professor. I just want to be able to give back, man. I just want to.
Yeah, it's definitely a way of giving back.
Just want to be able to share my knowledge, share my past experiences, and in the education system that we currently have, I kind of want to.
Yeah.
Shake them
My
little
own,
more.
yeah, you know what
You know
I
what I
mean.
mean? Yeah, I can see you having your own school, man.
Yeah.
Hey, that's saying something, brother. I
Receive
appreciate
that.
that.
Speaking in-
Especially
yeah.
in Louisiana, man, because
Absolutely.
we're ranked last
I was just about to
49th?
say.
48,
You
49.
know what I mean? So I kind of want
We
to.
just might be 50, I think.
We
I think
might be,
We are.
yeah.
Hey, look,
so
we're going to have someone from the school board correct us on that.
Yeah.
This is how we feel. Steve.
right,
Right.
all right.
Nothing.
But at the end of the day, college isn't for everyone, and you don't just learn in institutions. You know what I mean?
True that.
There are libraries, there are books, there are seminars, there's stuff online that you can use to further your knowledge, to further your mind as to what it is that you want to do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You
definitely.
don't have to go to college to live out your dreams. And that's the misconception that we were taught from growing up. Go to
It's an
school,
American
get a
dream,
good
man.
job,
Yeah.
live the American dream. But is being in student loan debt for X amount of years really?
Is it worth it to you? Is it worth it to you?
It has it's worth it because I always have something I can fall back on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I don't pursue a job in teaching,
It wasn't worth it.
I'm not saying it wasn't worth it,
But you still,
but I still have
You
something.
still-
I still got something
accomplished
from it.
something.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I got something from it. You know what I mean? So it's worth it, but it's not necessary.
Right,
That's what
because
I'll
like
say.
as of right now, I feel like I have a lot going on, you know, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't graduate. That doesn't mean I'm not going to, because I'm a believer in if I started something, I need to finish it. But my life is very fruitful, you know.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sitting here with y'all, and I would have never thought that I would be able to live out this part of a dream that I had too. So. You know, and I don't have a degree. I'm not saying that it's not worth it, because like my sister, you know, she, through the trials and tribulations, transferring schools and all that, she still got her degree, and she living her best life. So, you
Shout out to
know,
Cardi B.
shout out to Lil Duval.
right?
You know what? Like everyone said at the table, I can see both sides of it. I literally, my plan is to get my degree just to have it, just to have it, literally, because
Just to say you
nothing.
did it.
My life plan does not include having a degree. My life plans are literally attainable outside of that,
Yeah.
and it's so funny because I was making what people fresh out of college are making typically that I know at 19 with a regular job.
Right.
And I think now it's so. I was in management, so I guess that's not regular, but I was in management. So I think that it just depends on you. I think we've sold that so hard and so much, and people are depressed and people are
Yeah.
miserable. I know engineers personally. I know my sister is a nurse. Shout out again to Southern University. She's a nurse, but she has plans to do business outside of that. So, she worked that hard to get a degree, which she loves her career, it pays the bills, but there's still something more that she desires. So it's like we pushed it until now. Like, there are more people with degrees than there are jobs to provide for those degrees.
That is so
And it's
true.
just like, and the trades are not excelling. Like, we have a shortage of trades.
Yep.
So in about 20 years, who are we gonna call when we need a plumber?
Right.
man, like, I
because
had an
everybody
uncle-
wants to be in the
Electrician.
entertainment field.
Right. I had an uncle who said, he's a very, and prestigious guy. Shout out Uncle Dwayne, right? He said, I believe that, coming out of high school, you should get a 2-year associate, having, that you can master the classroom, in a sense, but pick up a trade. Because if you're able to work with your hands, like you were saying, if you're able to do plumbing work,
You
gonna
will never
always
be
have a
without a
job.
job.
employed.
Absolutely.
If you can do carpentry, construction,
Exactly.
electrical wiring in homes. Like, when you're
Yeah.
able to do those type of things, you're gonna always have a job. So another question I want to ask real quick: do people go to school because it looks good?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
You know,
easy.
People
Not everybody.
always-
Not
people always
everybody.
I think
pressured
a lot
by
of
their
people.
parents, man.
Yeah,
It's-
I think a lot of people
everybody.
do
And
that.
your parents
Yeah.
push you. Look, I want you to go to
Yeah,
college.
because-
Our parents
get
push
that
us to be
degree.
safe.
Exactly. And
Our parents
then,
push us to be safe.
and coming from me, I'm the first one of
Yeah,
my
so
brothers
it's
to even go to
big.
college, so
Yeah.
it's big. So that was another, factor, another variable in me
Yeah.
pursuing this degree. You know what I'm saying? So
I got to play devil's
Some-
advocate. Not everybody goes to school because their parents push them. Not
Yeah,
everybody
not-
goes
not
to school.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who really go to school because they feel like you
That's
said,
the
they
way
can
out.
master.
Yeah.
They can master their craft. They can master their skill, whatever it is, by doing that.
Man, I just
One thing that I can also add to what you were alluding to is just when are we? So where are our Michael Jacksons? Well, who's this generation's Michael Jackson? When you look in the entertainment industry, we don't have like just actors and actresses. Like, okay, we have Yara Shahidi, she's doing her thing. We have what's the guy's name? I cannot remember. James.
James.
His last name is James.
what movie
I don't
was
know.
he in?
But
And
we
shout out-
have him,
shout out
the
to
guy
Mr.
that
James.
just played, the guy that just played Bobby Brown. He's doing his thing right now.
Yeah, Woody.
Woody McClain. But we don't have people that we are really just like, oh yeah, Gabrielle
Yeah,
Union.
that star-
We know,
that star
Taraji B.
crowd, yeah.
Henson. Oh, Halle Berry. So because we're pushing our kids to be safe, we're forgetting about the creatives. Like, what about
And their dreams that they could be doing,
we're
yeah.
forgetting about people actually attaining dreams, and
Yep.
that the struggle is what helps people to attain dreams. We're so we're coddling this generation, and so nobody's going out. Who's the next LeBron James for our generation? The next Kobe Bryant? I'm talking about really that people that y'all can really think off the top of y'all head. It's just like, man, they killing it in their field.
Because they telling you know,
Go
because
to school and be safe.
Yeah, they just
go
put
to
them in
school,
a
get it
box.
safe. Not everybody makes it to the NBA. Not everyone makes it
But
to the
I
league.
can. Who told you I can't?
Right.
Why can I not be the one?
Hey man,
Right.
poverty, man. Hey, because it's a lot of parents,
Ooh,
and it's no
preach on
disrespect to the, you know, to the parents who like who,
Yeah,
who
because
want
we
their
are
kids to
for
be safe.
education. Yeah.
Right. You know, we're all for education, but it's like that parent who they work hard so my kids can have this. But believe it or not, that poverty drives you. The lack of
What?
makes you want so much more.
What?
I seen LeBron dribble a basketball. I can do it. I can do it similar ways. And LeBron will tell you can do it. You know, and stop trying to knock someone who wants to. To tell you the truth, it's so
Yes.
many inspiring rap artists, right? But how many new songs are we hearing on the radio every day? Somebody told them everybody rap. Everybody act. But how many new actors are getting landed in these different
We're seeing the
roles?
same ones
Right.
over and over and over.
Everybody do a podcast.
Right.
But how many new ones are, you know, getting aired every single day? So it's, in another quote that got to me was, walk on the bread aisle in Walmart, any grocery store that you may go to. It's
All that different bread.
it's
Yeah.
nothing but bread.
Yeah.
But every last one of those different, you know,
Yep.
brands are going to get their time and,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
an opportunity to
Yeah.
live,
Somebody
right?
picking it up.
Right. Somebody
picking
like
up.
it. Right.
You walk on the chip aisle.
Yeah.
Like speaking,
Cheeto, Dorito, Frito.
Anyway, with all that,
Right.
but you know, so it's fight for it, but
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that rapping is for everybody. The culture is very oversaturated. That's all I gotta say.
that little side note.
Don't mean it's for everybody. Just like college isn't for everybody, but
Right.
that just ties it all in.
I think that once we become okay with being uniquely ourselves,
Yeah.
like you can't convince me that God created all 7.6 billion of us now
To be the
go
same.
to college.
To be the
All
same.
7.6 billion of us.
because it was just someone who said, "Look, I need you to be as smart as me to do what
Exactly.
I do."
Right.
He
Yeah.
created an institution that, you know.
But it's funny because people are now starting to see that. I think it was Google that just you don't need a college degree now to work for Google.
Hey man,
So-
because it's so many
Yeah.
art, like it's so many smart people
Yeah.
in art, you know, creative
Life
people
learners, yeah.
who
And
don't.
that
Yeah.
degree, that paper, that certification, that does not define you.
Because I know people who cheated their way through college. I
you know,
mean,
exactly.
cheated
Just
their
because
way
you
through.
have a degree don't mean you better than nobody
Cheat.
else.
Listen,
Just because
I
you
know
have a
people
degree don't mean you
personally.
Exactly.
talk
Cheated
down
they way
on
to
somebody
their
who didn't
masters.
graduate or
Yeah.
talk down on somebody who have a trade. Yeah, I might have a trade in welding, but I make 40 an hour and you make
Yeah.
35. But you have a degree, right?
Actually, I know a lot of people that don't even make 35. Like
See?
they
You
pushing
know, in
just
hours,
getting 20.
so
You
it's,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
yeah, hey, but man, we support education.
definitely,
We pushing it. We want kids to continue to graduate high school.
we support
Right.
uniqueness.
You know, we support uniqueness, so we need to implement more STEM and performing art programs into schools. You know,
Yeah,
to allow these students to be creative in their own. You know,
I
In
just
their
think
own
the
way, yeah.
curriculum itself needs to
it needs
be
to change. It's the same
Yeah.
curriculum from like our
Man,
parents
right.
went to school.
Yeah.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like there's nothing about financial literacy.
Nothing,
Nothing
nothing
that's
about
gonna really-
credit,
Nothing about
nothing about
credit.
buying homes,
Nothing
none of
about
that.
Man,
business.
Louis Farrakhan said this, man. He said, "Your education is to make you more serviceable in your society."
Exactly.
You know, and part of it is just run by, you know, different people. But your education is only to make you more serviceable in the society. But how about, you know, creating your own society,
Yeah.
establishing your own? LeBron James,
But we
has
can't do that
made
because
a,
we're so.
you know,
We're
conditioned to
spending
be
40,
one way.
Yeah, we're spending 40 hours a week in school, man. Like,
Right. It's like
when do I have time
you're
to
killing
think?
us. Y'all
But
killing us.
It goes with so much. They want
It
us to
takes
be
away.
robots, man.
Yep.
Like,
Because here's the thing, like, and even if you look at like those schools in China or Japan,
That don't have no breaks during
these
the
kids are
summertime.
in school
None
maybe
of that.
12 hours out the day.
Yep.
You don't have what's acting. What's that? You don't. Not saying that they don't have that option. They have to do that in their own time. But they're so conditioned to master their classes there to come over here and get that job as a CEO.
Yep.
When everybody here been going to college for 8 years trying to do the
Right.
same thing.
Yeah.
Right. So, hey.
I just think that it sets a like it's really safety. It's just all about safety. Just
A sure thing.
It's a sure thing. It's
Yeah.
certain.
Yeah.
And
And that's
not-
what they're
it's
selling.
not
They're
even.
selling. It's not
It's
even.
not even
They're
a sure
selling a
thing
certainty. I
anymore.
mean, because
Because
guess
one
what? When
thing
you
is
get
for
that
certain,
degree,
that debt
Yeah,
Oh,
when you
yeah.
get that degree, first of all, you're working so hard that you can't even go home and enjoy the house that you just bought.
Nope.
You spending 50 hours a week at somebody's job, and you can't even
Fulfilling their
bought this house,
dreams and
fulfilling
not
their
yours.
dreams. Because guess what? At the top of the totem pole, that he's getting paid the most, she's getting paid the most. You, at the other hand, you might be getting paid, something. But I just to think of it like this, for wrapping it up, man, are you really worth $35 an hour? You sold an hour of your life for $35. And that's all getting ready to go to bills. You're literally working to pay bills.
Hey,
that's
like
not
you say,
healthy.
being
You're not working
robots.
to
Some people are
live.
just
Robots.
conditioned to be robots where I got to work to pay these bills.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to eat.
Yeah.
Electricity is not free.
But it has
yet.
to be more than that.
Yeah, like
It's so much more to
you
it.
can use the job as a tool
You
to
sure
create
can.
wealth.
create what you want.
Absolutely.
to
Hey,
create
man,
your
go
own.
to school and get your business degree to create your own business.
That'll actually
not to retire
help.
from another company
Exactly.
that you worked 50 years for.
And then
Like,
you still living
Yeah.
paycheck to paycheck.
paycheck to paycheck.
You got to start thinking like legacy. Like, what do I want to leave
Absolutely.
behind for
Legacy.
my children?
But see,
you know?
and the thing about it, those who are involved in the entertainment world that we see so much are the ones who are more so focused on
Legacy.
establishing their
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
Like,
And a lot of people would say
it's
that like that's a
entrepreneurs.
selfish thing, but it's like, are you gonna be selfish for yourself,
Right.
or are you gonna let somebody else run your life?
Right.
That's
Exactly.
really how they all got there. It's like they made
A selfish decision.
Right.
several selfish
you-
decisions
you
that a
have
lot of
people-
people don't like, but
Right. You have people like Bill Gates dropping out of Harvard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Zach Zuckerberg dropping out of Harvard. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, yeah. Dropping out of Harvard. Yeah.
and guess what? He's employing people that graduated from Harvard.
yeah. But then
So,
you
I
got
mean,
people like Robin Roberts who went to Southeastern, graduated, and she's on TV living her dream. You know,
Yeah.
it's just
it's different strokes for
Yep.
different
Man, it
folks.
shows for different
Man,
folks.
it's so much like school is one thing. You want to be an actor or an actress is one thing. It's the time that you put in when nobody's watching. It's what
Exactly.
really gets you to where you got to go.
Exactly.
You can have a degree in acting, so that mean, when they have their little seminars or they have their little, correspondent dinners or what have you, you're networking a lot
you might be a
more.
familiar face, yeah.
You might be a familiar face, so it all works
Or you
out.
can have that dude who just putting in hard work, and
Are you
he's
putting in
also
that
a
hard
familiar
work
face.
and you're
Yeah.
calling these people, you're attending these
Yep.
events, and you're not even a member of
Yeah.
the society or what
Yep.
have you.
Yeah.
So it's so much that goes into it, and we're all striving to do so much more than what we're doing here now. So I'm challenging each of us to, continue to be the best that we can be.
Definitely.
All right, but folks, we're gonna go ahead and take another break. You are still tuned in with Breauxs and Brews. Stay tuned with us. So you say that you guys do prepare in-house meals?
Yes, certainly. Yeah, we're chef driven by what we do. Our owners, they started out in the business as chefs themselves. And they want to make sure whenever we get a place, we're not going to do something that's just prepackaged or something that you can find everywhere else. So we make our boudin, our andouille. We went over to Cajun country and figured out the right way to do it.
Absolutely.
So we make it in-house, smoke it in-house. Our short ribs are smoked in-house as well. So we do it all right here in the kitchen. When you get your Alfredo for the chicken Alfredo, we're making that sauce right then and there. So the quality goes to the price.
You can't beat that at all. Look, so again, guys, if you're in a neighborhood, if you want to check out something new, if you're on this side of town, and also the thing I love about it is the venue. I mean, it's the it's the venue itself. It's easy to find. It's easy to locate. Again, we're at 5500 Hilton Avenue, the first floor of the Marriott Hotel here in Baton Rouge. So,
Hey, what are we drinking? So you guys have the Purple Haze starting next week. That's going to go at $3 a glass.
Absolutely.
And I'm drinking the Gleason IPA in Port Orleans. So the great thing about this, we all know Gleason from the Saints, that big box against the Falcons.
Absolutely.
So every purchase of this, a portion of the profits go to the Gleason Foundation.
Oh wow.
So drinking for a cause, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Better way.
Hey, we're gonna definitely push the Gleason IPA. So, I guess that's one way to wrap up. We're tuned in with Breauxs and Brews.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hey, what's going on? And you are still with Breauxs and Brews. If you're just not joining us, I'm your host, Abachi Junqueese, and John with me are my co-host.
Jay Flair.
Tiffany Torre.
Trinisha Johnson.
And again, we are Breauxs and Brews. So we're back from break.
I'm lit, bro.
Y'all are
man.
definitely, man. The bros on
They
another
both
level
litty.
right
They
now.
both lit.
This
So
purple
excuse
haze
them.
definitely got me feeling like Jimmy over here. But
You know what? Please
feeling
not
good.
Jimmy.
Acting like Eddie Kane
Anybody.
over here. Like,
Anybody but Jimmy, please.
Jimmy
is
Hendrix,
there
right?
a heart in the house? That's what he acting like.
So just to piggyback off on what we're speaking about before we went to break, about the is it worth, right, the inner tuition and the time that we put in college. So that leads me to another question. since we're all, African Americans here and proud to be.
I'm
Why-
not.
Whoa.
We just finna
I'm about to cut.
I am a
I'm about to
proud,
cut on that one.
proud.
Why is it that some of our, younger, generation coming out of high school, or even our time period, right? Why did we? I know time period, not.
Yeah, our
We're-
generation.
We're not that old generation, 90 babies. Why do some of us choose to attend predominantly white universities versus an HBCU?
Where they're not exposed to it, or it's frowned upon in our family.
Okay.
HBCUs are frowned upon.
I'm saying we're either not exposed to that,
To
the
PWIs.
pride of HBCUs
Okay.
or PWIs,
Gotcha.
for
Yeah.
them
Yeah,
families
yeah.
that's like, I'm gung ho about a HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be them families where it's like, nah, you're going to go to a prestigious,
Yeah.
a prestigious
And
school.
that leads me to add on in that, is it, does it have to do with the location of school,
Could be.
the options,
that are
of
available
a
to you,
degree,
yeah.
what you want to major in. Is it the prestige of the university? Is it the diversity of the university? Or is it also the cost, right? Or
All
is
of
it
that.
just some of our families who feel, or some of the students going into it just feels like an HBCU can be too black?
Y'all speak on it. Y'all went to the HBCU.
Too black.
I mean, what? What drove? You know how too black? I don't want to deal with all of that going on in admissions or what have you. Like
Yeah.
what? Flab, what led you to? Like, I've always loved Southern University, and I haven't even attended it. I've always loved
Of
the
course.
school. I've
I
always
wanted to,
loved the culture of it. The prestige that comes with it, the
Mm-hmm.
love that comes with it. But what drove you to it? So why did you choose? Since we're in Baton Rouge, what made you choose Southern versus an LSU?
I believe really the cost. That's,
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, due to my family circumstances,
Right.
it was just the easy, accessible college for me. You know
Okay.
what I mean, I wasn't the smartest thing out the bunch. My ACT scores wasn't even the best.
Mm-hmm.
I
you
got
know?
you.
So there's that.
Yeah.
So with that, it's circumstantial of why one would choose a PWI over a HBCU. It could be because of their credentials, along with what programs they offer, and proximity.
Right.
And that was another thing.
True
I
that,
didn't
true
really
that.
want to do
Right.
that whole commute
Right.
to LSU every day, and it wasn't necessarily because I thought that LSU was a better institution
just
or anything
too
like that,
advanced for
or
you.
too advanced for me.
Because
you know
we
what I
learn
mean?
at Southern
Yeah, because
University.
you still learn stuff at Southern, and I feel like at Southern I learned things that I would never learn at LSU, like especially when it comes to things like history about me,
Yeah.
about where I come from.
True,
Like
true.
I would never learn that at LSU.
Because the thing also about that, it was like, can't nobody teach me about me except me.
And my
Meaning,
people.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your people.
And
you know
then,
who you're surrounded by.
there's like a different connection you have with your teachers when you're sitting in that classroom. You know what I mean?
I agree.
That's another factor that led to that. And I mean, if you really think about Southern is prestigious in its own way.
Absolutely. It's well known.
It has a great engineering program. They have a great nursing program.
Yep.
You have the best band in the land.
Yep.
And
the
just-
human jukebox.
Yeah.
Shout out.
And it's just the culture of Southern that
Yeah.
also attracted me.
So I gotta ask this question: If your family had the means to send you to either school with no burden, would you have, not knowing what you're knowing now, coming out of high school? If someone said, "Baby, if you want to go to LSU, we got it. If you want to go to Southern, you got it," and you had full admission to both universities, would you have still chosen Southern University?
Probably so.
And
No, ain't no probably. I would have. Because,
Do you
as you
think
know, I
that-
was in the band. So
Oh,
there
yeah.
was that. And I always
so-
wanted to
okay,
play
I
in the
got
band.
you,
So I
yeah.
guess I'm kind of biased
Yeah.
with that.
Just a little bit.
So,
Well, growing
yeah.
up, did y'all have, like, were y'all families, like, gung-ho about, like, Southern, were they, like,
No,
Southern
my
fans?
mother went to LSU.
No, my
my father,
uncle
my
went to
family's
Southern.
always been about
My other uncle
Southern.
went to Grambling, I pretty much grew up on Southern's campus.
Yeah.
I was in an organization called the Young Leaders Academy.
Oh,
Yeah.
And we went there every Saturday, so
Right. Yeah, so you were
I
exposed
was
to
already
it heavy.
exposed to it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's the
was
same
not
for
a
me.
Southern. I
Me
was
either.
not.
I
Me
mean,
either.
yeah, my grandfather was always, my grandfather
My
was so
people really
pro-black.
wasn't into it.
You know,
Yeah.
so
They
he
just-
used to
and I
push the
think
HBCUs.
My parent, well, I feel like my mom wasn't into it mainly because of like the stigma that's attached to mainly Southern. I'm not saying all HBCUs because there are like, there are HBCUs that are doing better, than Southern. But I don't know. I think it was just like the whole Baton Rouge thing. I need you to get out of BR to do better for us. That was the message
yeah.
that was pushed in my mind, in my
Gotcha.
mind, which is why I went to PWI. But
Gotcha.
And then
but if I was exposed to HBCU
Yeah.
early on, I feel like
Yeah.
I would be, I would have went there.
right.
Yeah, because
And
I feel
then
like at some point it's kind of like frowned upon, like you were
Yeah.
saying. It was like at some point somebody told them,
It wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
good enough. And before we were able to attend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only
LSU.
colleges
Yeah.
available
That-
to
I mean,
us.
so the only thing that changed, so these issues were then. Because if we felt that, speaking of our families and our, past generations, we love y'all so much. I had to endure so much.
Shout out.
At some point, they felt like I said, everything just goes back to slavery, man.
Real talk. Real talk. Real
It just
talk.
goes back to
I mean,
slavery.
because we're not
Slavery,
that far removed from it.
it's-
As much
we're
as
not
we would like to
segregation.
think.
400 years is not that long ago. Well, maybe like 5, right?
I'm saying
No.
like just the
It's
civil
not
rights
that long
movement,
ago.
like
Yeah,
60
just that
years. Some of our
yeah,
grandparents,
Like
yeah.
James,
Right.
I may be getting his name wrong. James Meredith, right? He had just got admitted to Ole Miss in the 60s.
That's
Like-
crazy.
So
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Like my
Like, UL
grandparents were
still-
alive then.
Yeah.
UL still has a portrait of like the first black graduate.
Yeah. So it's not that far
it's
removed.
really not. It's really not.
That's our grandparents' generation.
Yep.
Man, great,
So,
man.
yeah.
Yo. It's
And then I think people may choose PWIs over HBCUs because it looks better on paper.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
It does.
definitely.
For jobs,
oh, don't even get me started on
It looks
like
better on paper.
what. But
It
you
sounds
know,
better too.
sounds
Yeah.
It
better.
just sounds
but
better.
sure don't matter
But-
in the NFL team, but anyway.
You know what it is though? Like, I feel like when you go to a HBCU, you have a better chance of like running into somebody that also went to that HBCU who's in a position of power who could get you on.
Yeah, that's why
It's
like
really
a
not
lot
like
of
that
people
with
join
PWIs.
like fraternities and sororities,
That's-
yep.
to always have connections.
I think
Yep.
that's why they used to. I
Right.
think now it goes back to a lot of things just looking good on paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people go to PWIs just because because
Just to
again
say
my
they
mother
went.
went to LSU, so my sister was the first person to go to an HBCU in our family.
And how did your mother feel about that?
I mean, she was great. I mean, my
As long as
mother
you
gave
handle
us
your
my
business, yeah.
mother gave us freedom. Like, but one thing about it, one thing I can say is that believe it or not, McKinley is what opened my eyes to diversity.
Same.
Like, I mean,
Same thing with
literally,
me.
I think
Right.
one of my world history classes, it was me and someone else, me and 2 other people that were the only black people in the class. That's
Yeah.
unheard of, like in high school.
Especially at
So,
McKinley.
yeah, especially at McKinley. I
Especially
mean,
in a
so
predominantly black community, right?
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
So I
McKinley's
mean,
in the bottom.
that opened my eyes, and honestly, I plan on going to get my master's at a PWI just to get the experience of both. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I got
like,
you
don't
know,
knock until you try.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that's good for people.
yeah.
Like have that college experience with,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like I know that was the main argument. We had a seminar at UL where it was SU versus UL, just
Mm-hmm.
a different experience that that people have going to HBCU and the PWI. And the biggest thing is, I lost my thought. Look at that.
I mean, because a lot of kids don't, because
That's
a
gonna
lot
come
of
back to me.
students don't really know the difference between the 2 universities until you have attended one.
Yeah.
right.
You
Yeah.
know, because when you go to an HBCU, you feel like it's the same issues that went on at your black high school,
I
it's the
caught it.
same ones that goes on at that HBCU. So I'm
But,
glad you caught it. What you got?
Before you lose it again.
Right,
before
before
you
I
lose
lose
it
it again,
again.
that the biggest thing is the world isn't like that. The world isn't gonna coddle
Yeah,
you. The
we hear
world
that
isn't
argument
all
all the
black people. The
time.
world is super diverse, so you need to prepare yourself now rather than later. But it's like the counter argument is like I'm preparing my students even more, you know,
Yeah.
at Southern versus UL
The
because
society is here.
because
Life is
because
here.
of that, you know, nurturing that you get in college, I feel like it better, you know, set you up for the future.
And one thing I can say, in HBCU will definitely, I can't speak on the PWI, I haven't attended it yet. But one thing I can say about an HBCU, it teaches you how to be a hustler.
Yeah.
You will learn to hustle at an HBCU. Like,
PWI
I
okay,
seem
just
to
feel
get
like
lost.
I just feel like the personal level of teaching is, you know, it's a,
definitely.
you know, is more so at an HBCU
Yeah.
for you know, a young black
They're
boy.
more passionate.
Yeah, it's more passionate because they know the same struggles. You know, not saying that it's in the curriculum. It may be.
Or it may be outside.
And you know what?
That's okay.
Right?
But
And
you
you're
know,
surrounded by it every day, and you're all striving for the same thing.
yeah.
With the school across town might have an advantage. So it's, I mean, how can we get that step up?
But you know what? I can also say that I can actually counter that. I have experienced at my HBCU people actually wanting to make it harder for you.
Oh, yeah,
people
that's
of
what
the
I'm saying.
same
It better
race.
set you up.
People of the same
Yep.
race that I'm a doctor, I'm the professor.
You can be one or no.
No.
Oh, okay.
Like I work this hard. I don't care if you have to work.
Yep.
You
True
know
that.
you going through a crisis. I don't
You
care
gonna
if
deal with it.
you gonna deal with it. And you
I've
gonna
been
get
through all of
you know
that.
we did that.
Because
So
a lot of people make excuses, especially
Yeah.
when it comes down to school.
yeah, I mean, but sometimes life can get hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've had both. You know, I've had super caring professors and I've had super
Same.
Man, look.
Distant
Dickhead.
yeah
professor.
distant
look,
professors
just
who
that
don't
third and
care.
the other happened. Turn this paper in on that day. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Period.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing no
That's
excuses.
everywhere though. There, you know, there are those professors
Definitely.
who are more
Definitely.
personal with their students versus like the ones who are just like, you know, turn your paper in and
Yeah.
you're just a number.
Yeah, one of my professors this summer, and I'll never forget this experience, and I always say if I'm ever in that position, I do it. This summer, y'all know I was pregnant, like big and
Yeah.
pregnant, walking across Southern University's campus. And one thing that I'll forever remember to wrap this up is she said literally, I don't care what time you get here, as long as you get here. I'm never going to lock you out of class.
Hey, look,
I'm
that's
never going
beautiful.
to. And man, that, she said, because I remember my grandmother, she said her grandmother got her degree, I think when she was 80.
Man.
Man,
Her
but
grandmother
she
got
it.
her degree when she was 80, and
But
she
she got it,
said
man.
her grandmother always instilled in her, you don't know what that student had to go through to get there, and just already having a 1-year-old man and getting up and going to an 8 o'clock class every week, every Monday through Thursday. So I mean, yeah, that made the difference. So
Man,
I've
it's
experienced
powerful, man.
both.
Shout out. Right.
Yeah, I wish I
Definitely.
remember her name, but I don't.
Right.
You know, but you know, she made a an impact on me. I think it's many of us
Definitely.
remember that teacher or that professor that made like an impact on us. We may
Definitely.
not remember their name, but if we see him, we can definitely
Oh, yeah.
acknowledge him for sure.
Impact
So-
bad or good.
Right.
Look, and this just brings me to another segment of, the show, which we call Tiffany Talks.
Tiffany talks.
Going into
Talks.
Miss Tiffany Torre. So,
Yes.
Tiffany, what is going on in the entertainment world?
Well, entertainment world. Well, what was going on in the entertainment world here last Sunday? Was it Sunday?
Yep.
It was one of them days. One of them days last week, we got to experience Mr. Kevin
think it was
Gates coming
Monday.
back to his city.
I think it
The
might have
Luca
been Monday.
Brasi.
That
Yeah.
Luca Brasi 3 just
Yeah.
dropped, and he is on tour currently. He is on tour with Young Blue. That y'all might know him from that song "Ice Me Out" or "Ice Her Out" or
Nah,
Kevin
I just know
Gates is-
Tracy's song.
yeah. Kevin Gates is featured on the song.
Yeah, you said like a young blue?
Yeah, Young Blue.
That,
Shawty, please, you know I spent some dollars on you.
I know
Yeah.
you're top of the line. I know
There you go.
I don't know that
There you
song.
go.
I don't know that one.
But yeah, their fans are similar. Their fans are similar, and so it made it for a really good opening. Blue did set it off. Well, he just let it play because he is signed to Boosie, so he set it off play, and I feel like they really got the crowd hype for Kevin.
Always.
Oh yeah, and then Tokyo Jets performed. She's a female rapper out of Jacksonville, Florida. She was bombed too. Crowd went wild for her. And here's where the controversy starts because Gates, he was doing snippets of songs, like our favorite songs, his classic songs that we love. A lot of people feel like he didn't go right. A lot of people feel like he didn't go back far enough. He really did a lot of songs from off the, I don't know whether it was the album or EP, but Isla. He really did a lot of songs, like really, really 2 phones. He did a lot of songs from off of Isla, and it's like he almost forgot about like the old Gates fans or
Where it
whatever.
was almost.
Yeah. So I feel like it made for a good show, but it was a little tainted. Also, he only spent like an hour, 45 minutes max on the stage.
Oh,
so
like
a lot of people felt cheated out of their, out of their ticket. Because it's like your openers, even Booby Black had the people on their feet. You know what I mean? Not to say he didn't. It's just, when you come into your hometown, people expect more. Mm-hmm. That don't take away from who he is and what he's done for our city. Because I still feel like he's an amazing artist. It's just, it wasn't all there, But switching over to another music thing, Quavo from the Migos just released his own solo project. It's called Quavo Huncho. And the songs that I like on it, Champagne Rosé and Hunch Your Dreams. If you get a chance to listen to it, do that.
I'll check that out. I haven't checked it out so far.
Yeah,
y'all
heard
should give it a chance, man. Give it a chance.
I know Quavo is, hey man, look.
He's like the Beyonce of the group. He is. Just imagine whenever Beyonce dripped off from, Destiny Child with Dangerously in Love.
Oh, so
it was a debut. It was a debut.
You saying that the Migos gonna break up?
I'm not saying that they're gonna break up, but there comes a time for people to branch off. Yeah, that doesn't mean that we still can't do our own thing. I mean, that doesn't mean that we still can't come together and put on a good show for the fans. Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you're so focused on individual things, then how can you really, master that team?
See, but like we was talking about it earlier,
at the end of the day,
they're family.
We can always come back.
They
and
family,
podcast,
so
right?
it's like you don't you can't diss family. People grow to have family, but at the end of the day, they're blood. So it'll be real hard for. That's real.
Hope anybody see that.
I don't think they're gonna break up. But I'm proud of Quavo. I really like that.
And they probably making more money together, so might as well.
Oh yeah. But yeah,
dig that.
That was all for Tiffany Talks, y'all.
Hey, shout out to Tiffany Torre with Tiffany Talks, man. That's the first time we implemented that into our daily show.
Yeah.
How you feel about it?
I feel good. It'll be better next week.
I'm about to say,
but there's
better?
always room for improvement.
Yeah. Jay, what we got with the current event, man?
Current event, I kind of just. I really didn't prepare, but what I've been peeping, I still got something. I've been noticing a lot of controversy around Kanye and what he's been doing with President Trump.
He's lost, man. He's lost.
Recently, I've been peeping that he had a sit down with Trump, and he talked about things like he talked about things like prison reform, freeing up Larry Hoover. He talked about having more mental health institutions, more
he's mentally ill,
art programs, and things of that nature. But it was all just going to be for the city of Chicago.
That's what I don't agree with.
But I feel like he's making strides.
It's one step at a time.
Yeah, it's one step at a time.
A
he's making strides to make a positive impact. And we may not agree with his methods all the time. But the fact remains that he's doing something. A lot of people say he's cooning.
Call it like you see it. But I honestly feel like going back to what we talked about that very first episode, how broke people breed nothing but broke people. I feel like you have to use yourself first. He got to get straight within himself first before he can try to help anybody.
You don't think Kanye's straight?
No, you can see that. I watched that episode of The Shop with Drake and how he was dirty, man. He really that was dirty how he did Drake. Y'all need to check out that episode to see what I'm talking about. But when Drake explained like how he was open arms and he really thought he was genuine. You told him about your baby and about how you and the woman that you decided to have a child with. Y'all going through some things. You use that against that man, and I feel like that's.
Yeah, you forever.
In other words, that's real girlish. It's real messy.
Man, I mean, it's one thing to applaud his mission of trying to get people free from prison.
It's more about the motive, though.
Yeah, what's your intention behind it? You doing it
because all of a sudden, man, we had Barack in office. Now you just come up.
But all of a sudden, slavery was a choice, and I know you tried to come back and clean it up, but man, I mean,
you ask me personally, it's a Kardashian effect.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's a Kardashian effect. Anybody that gets with a Kardashian, man, they always go left.
Them women's I don't know what it is about them, but
They always go
got
left.
some-
They beautiful.
Pray for Kanye.
Man,
Got
they
some
beautiful.
issues with
Don't get me wrong. We'll stay away from them. But we ain't even gonna speak on that
We're
long.
not
Stay
gonna speak
away
on
from
that.
I think Kanye hasn't been the same since the late great his mother,
Yeah,
Dr.
he
Don
has.
DeWitt,
Exactly.
passed,
And like,
Still hasn't
man.
you know,
dealt
as
with
someone,
it.
he
Yeah.
still hasn't dealt with it. He still haven't, came to terms with it. I mean, can we blame him?
Yeah.
You know, if our
Right.
mother was to leave us suddenly,
Right.
we would,
Who's in a
you
public
know,
eye like that?
And you know
if we
what?
was in the public eye, people would just expect, oh man, get over it, start making music. Oh man, get over it, start making clothes.
Let me ask this question: the fact that Kanye's been so controversial,
He been acting out.
does that take away from the fact that he's a great artist?
No.
No, he's
No,
a
because
musical
it's nothing
genius.
to do with his music.
But I mean, a lot
Absolutely a
of
musical
people be
genius.
Yeah, a lot
like,
of-
"Man, I ain't listening to
He's
Kanye no more.
canceled.
He tripping."
Well,
I listen to the old Kanye.
I was about to say
I
that
don't
doesn't
listen to
mean
what
I'm
he-
gonna. I just can't see myself further supporting him, but that doesn't take away from the fact that my favorite album is 808s and Heartbreak. It don't.
Oh, definitely.
It don't
Love
take
Y'all
that
Kanye
away.
favorite
It's
one
just
too?
Man.
either Graduation and 808s and Heartbreak.
Yeah,
that will-
808s and Heartbreak
That
will-
changed the way music
Yeah.
is portrayed now. You know, your P&B rocks. You know,
Mm-hmm.
your mood men in the game right now, they all are bred from 808s and Heartbreak.
Yeah.
So you can't
Yeah.
take away that he a legend. It's just you wildin'. So I don't
I
know.
mean,
if
just
can
because
further
you're a
lot of
legend,
people
I was
feel
just about
like-
to say, just because you're a legend, that
Because
don't
here's
mean.
the thing. Let
you're
me ask
exempt.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we know how important these artists is to us, right? What if What if Boosie or Gates was acting out the same way Kanye? We gonna stop listening
Wouldn't
to
be
Set It
able-
Off? We
No,
gonna
that's,
stop
and
listening
that's
to
what
I'm
we
a
saying,
Grinder?
and that's what we saying. I can support your stuff when you wasn't
It's just
wildin'.
people.
Right.
People feel like, all right, since you support his music, you support his thoughts, his ideas,
Right.
and everything outside of his
that.
music.
I mean,
Because
we-
they just like,
we
if you
as a
support
culture-
Trump hotels, and if you support,
Well, I'm not going to a Trump hotel.
Me-
I
if
get
you
it,
were
though.
to,
I
people
get
would
it.
get it like, oh,
Yeah.
you support Trump.
But
and
we as a
you
culture
gotta stand
cannot
as a
afford
whole.
to cancel Kanye. He's done so much prior to. I just want him to get the help that he needs. I
Right.
really
so,
really
so
man.
that
He
he
really
can
just
start
need help,
making better
man.
decisions.
Yeah.
I agree though.
All they doing is just pushing the prescription bottle on them.
Not even that. I feel like he just need to talk to somebody, and he really
Yeah.
need to
I
agree
think he
properly
needs-
He
about his
can't
mother
talk to
passing.
nobody, man. I'm talking about this guy that been walking through the peaceful mountains of the Midwest. How can you not talk then with people?
Yeah.
I mean, what if
How can
he's
you not talk in the most sacred moments?
what if he's just
An
a
attention
free
grabber.
thinker? A free thinker.
Yeah, and
There's
I-
nothing
you know,
wrong
and
with
I
being a
wanted
free
to point
thinker,
that
man.
out. I wanted
Just
to-
stop forgetting where you came from.
Right.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta
that's
say.
what I'm saying.
Just stop forgetting where you came from, man.
I am Kanye to an extent, and
If-
what I mean by that, I mean
But
by
never
free
been
thinker.
Kanye.
Yeah.
It's the you can't diss fact. I think the problem is he's dissing fact with
Yeah.
certain situations,
Baby was
and
a
he's
joy.
blind to reality.
Yeah.
I think that his blindness to reality is what we're upset about. We're not mad that Kanye has his own train of thought, because guess what?
Because
His
that's
own
where all
train
the
of
greatest
thought is
people
what
come from.
is where his greatness was birthed from.
Yeah.
All of a
However,
sudden
it's
it's
the
coming
fact
out.
that he's so blind, and you only speak like you
It's a
just started
Kardashian
speaking.
effect.
Yeah, you just started speaking on stuff that you have no.
Yeah, you have
Because
no
at
idea what
first
that
he
man's
said
like-
policies
like,
are.
but here's the thing, we got a little snippet of Kanye, and we kind of forced him to shut down,
Mm-hmm.
right? When he said George Washington, I mean, not
George Washington, Lord. George Bush doesn't care about black people. Yeah.
right, like
In the
we
middle
got
of
that
the
snippet
Katrina
of it,
telethon, Lord.
and we kind of shut him down on that one. You're wrong.
Oh, I didn't.
Or even
No, I
That man
didn't
didn't care.
cancel.
He didn't. Well, that
That was
Yeah.
different. That was different.
You kinda shut
It
him
was
down.
a way to
honestly,
do
I feel
that.
like that was just
It was a
entertainment
way to do
purposes.
that.
Say,
Yeah.
like, I support what he's trying to do. Him and his wife, they're getting people free.
They got a person free.
a person.
One
Let's-
person,
let's-
she's working.
One
She
free live
person.
don't even do that though, because Kim is working on trying to release a young man that was falsely accused of something, trying to
Hey,
get
man,
him
we
out of
not
jail,
knocking
which
that,
is
man.
cool. We
A
always
celebrity is
support
gonna
that.
look out for another celebrity. Previous presidents, they were never considered to be celebrities
Mm-hmm.
in a way, so they had to do what they felt was right.
Mm-hmm.
In the eyes of. But you got Donald Trump. He don't feel. Look, he's a celebrity, so
Right.
I got Kanye and Kim Kardashian sitting in my office. Yeah, I'll do
Right.
that.
And it's like he
Right.
thinking like, I got Kanye and Kim, but it's like we think we looking at it like, okay, but how you gonna use them to do good in this world? Because right now the UN, the United Nations, laughing at us.
I think
So-
everywhere is laughing at us. I literally shout out to. I literally see someone comment on a social media post. I'm so happy I'm not American right now.
That
I was
sucks.
like, wow,
We
man,
supposed
that's
to be the home of
hard.
the brave and the land
People,
of the free.
people laughing at us, man.
That sucks.
It's a circus right
They
now.
laughing at him. That ain't my president.
Well,
There you have it.
Hey, look, man, I think we good enough with that, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Look,
definitely.
guys, this has definitely been an incredible show. That's my
Incredible.
second time.
Only second.
Only
I'm so
only
proud
two
of you.
times.
You contained it.
I
You
contained
contained it.
Man, it's been a great show. Episode 2, Breauxs and Brews. Like I said, we are still here, and thank you all. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
As I say
King.
all the time. To anyone who may be going through something, a situation, look, man, if this can help you out, stop trying to compare your life or your success to someone else.
Come on.
Envy
We
is
all
the
have
thief of
different
joy.
times. We all have different seasons.
Definitely.
Come on.
We all had to come together at one point.
Definitely.
It's
We
just
all
the
had to
perfect
branch
time
out.
for us.
It's a perfect time for us. Like, this can be considered our season. So we can't say,
Definitely.
oh, this show or these people or this group of individuals who are doing this. Oh man, why we not doing it? You know, I'm 23 and my friend's 23. They making 100,000. I'm only making.
They ain't got
10.
nothing to do. They ain't got nothing to do with you.
They don't have nothing to do
Don't
with
know
you.
what struggle
So
they had to go through.
just
to get
continue to strive and move forward in the direction that the Most High has laid out for you. We all have a
definitely.
yellow brick road laid out for us. Either we're gonna be the Tin Man, we're gonna be the Lion, we're gonna be the Scarecrow, Dorothy, whomever,
Right.
and we're gonna follow it and we're gonna keep
Hey,
on
man.
going.
Definitely.
So like I say, you
sculptors of our own life, brother.
sculptors of our own life.
future.
Absolutely. So again, you have been toned in with Breauxs and Brews.
Breauxs.
I am your.
Don't forget to
Oh.
subscribe,
Let's
hit
go.
the like button,
Let's go.
leave comments, make suggestions.
Please, I
Hey.
mean, tell us if we look
Yeah.
good in suits. Tell me if I should take off my tie or.
What
Hey,
do you
look,
guys think we should
Anything,
talk
man,
about
anything.
next? What are your
Man,
thoughts
please
and
write down
opinions
suggestions.
Y'all wanna hear
on
about-
what we talked about?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
Please
we
write
want
down
y'all
suggestions.
feedback, man.
Absolutely.
We
And
do
so-
this for y'all.
Hey, look, we're gonna be back next week with episode 3. But shout out to our excuse me, I can't talk. Our artistic director, the man behind the lens, who's making it happen.
Shout out, shout out,
Thank
shout
you
out.
so
to
much,
E.
man. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah, let's see how long this guy takes.
Well,
Thank you for tuning in to Breauxs and Brews. Bye.
All right, we're going to go ahead and sign out. I am again Obati Janquisi, your host. I'm joined by my co-host,
Jay Flair.
Tiffany Torre.
Trinisha Johnson.
and we are Breauxs and Brews, and we're signing out.
Bye.